Hello everybody. Today we'll discuss about the globalization, or we can say that global business. So now we'll understand that what global business is all about. Basically people say global marketing is or global business is same as international business. Yeah, that we can treat as a synonymous also. Although we can define the global business into three separate aspects. First one is economic definition. So as per the economic definition, the process of integration of economies across the world through cross-border flow of factors, production and information. And if we define from the sociological point of view, then that defines increasing social interaction across the globe is an important aspect of the globalization. But the last, not the least, that is corporate definition. As per the corporate definition, it's the way of corporate life necessitated, facilitated and nourished by the transnationalization of the world economy and developed by the corporate strategies. Now we'll discuss about that how many stages of globalization happen in the business. So there are 5 separate stages. The first stage, that is a very basic stage, when a company or a very small organization which actually wants to go for the globalization, then they actually go for the first stage. In this first stage, the company which moves into the new market, linking up with local dealers and distributors of the foreign nation. The second stage, in this stage the company must have a little more resource, that we can say that a little more money resource with them, so that they can take up the marketing and sales activity by its own in the other nation or into a foreign nation. The third stage, when a company it actually goes up to a higher level, when it starts its own manufacturing, marketing and sales activity into the foreign market. For example, there are so many other foreign companies which is already existing in the India. Hyundai Motors or Honda company, that is into India, they are having their manufacturing unit as well as their marketing offices and sales offices in our India. The fourth stage, when the company moves to a full insider position in these markets supported by other systems such as R&D and engineering. It means that this is a little more higher stage rather than third stage. In this stage, the company not only manufacture, market and sell the product, but also make R&D into the foreign nation. And when we just talk about the fifth stage, that means the company generally globalize. It means that the company which is doing all of its operation in the foreign nation also. Now, what are the essential conditions for the globalization? Of course, if a company wants to go for the foreign nation, or if a company wants to start its operation in other nation, then they must have certain condition, then only they can go for the other nation business. The first one is business freedom. If a company doesn't find a business freedom in other nation, then we can't say that the company can go for the globalization. For example, an Indian company may never like to go for the Gulf countries because they don't find that political and government support over there. The other thing is facilities. The company should have the same infrastructure facilities in the other country also what they are having into the home country. For example, if one of the organization from our India wants to move to the Africa, then they may not able to work there because Africa does not have that much infrastructural support. The third thing is government support. The government should also support the organization. The government should also invite the foreign organization to the country so that they can develop their resources. The other thing is resources. Resources, it means that the company should get the required resources for its operation. If the company may not having the required HR, if the company may not get the required technology or R&D facility, then I think the company would not like to go for the globalization. And the last is competitiveness. It means that the company should have the competitive advantage over the other competitors, so then only they would like to go for the foreign nation. Now, next is why the company would like to go for the global marketing. For example, Walmart, that is looking to come into our India. Why? Because they are finding a huge market in our India and they are already saturated in their home country. So there are so many reasons why the company would like for the globalization. The first one is market saturation in the home country, as Walmart that is already saturated in its home country, so they are looking for new market. The second is trade deficit and long disequilibrium in balance of trade. If a company which is facing a trade deficit in its own home country, then of course they would like to go for the other nation for the profit generation. Next is increasing the foreign competition. Of course, if a company that is into domestic market, they would like to compete with the foreign organization. So to compete with them, they would like to go for the global market. And the other thing is emergence of new market. If a company into our country, they or a domestic company finds that there may be a new market which is good for our company, or we can earn a good profit from other nation, then of course they would like to set up their plant over there. Because for example, one of the inverter company of India who just started its operation, they found that Sri Lanka is one of the best market for them. So then they started their operation over there also, and now they are number one inverter seller in Sri Lanka. Other thing is globalization and trade free zone. For example, if a country they are inviting the foreign organization to their country just because they want to increase the industrial status of their own country, so they would in that case also the companies would like to go to that nation. Other is opportunity via foreign aid program. Improved communication system fueling rapid transfer of technological intellectual output, weightless export of both goods and services. Of course, a company which is producing its own goods and services in a domestic market, they would like to export their product to other nation also. They also want that their product and goods should be appreciated into the foreign nation also. Now, what are the benefit of globalization? Of course, there are so many benefits of the globalization. That's why the companies would like to go for a global market. The first one is utilization of foreign capital can contribute in economic development. For example, if my own company that goes to other nation, then of course they are going to generate a huge profit from there. So that will help in generating a huge foreign capital, which will automatically come to my nation and my economy will develop. The other thing is productivity grow more quickly when countries produce goods and services in a competitive advantage country. If a company from India goes to USA and start developing a product over there, and of course they will compete with that foreign organizations and they might come up with some good quality stuff, so that will increase their competitive advantage. The other thing is increasing competition make country more cost and quality conscious. As the competition will increase, the company would like to increase the quality of the product also. Now, global competition and import help in regulating the inflation. Globalization enhance consumer choices and surplus. It brings fresh ideas and innovation to the company as well as the country also. MNC pay more often than other domestic companies, of course, because there are so many youth in our country. They would like to work for the MNC rather than working for the domestic companies, because MNCs pay much higher remuneration to them. The other thing is foreign investment. Now, what are the negatives of globalization? Because there are so many negatives of globalization also happens. First one is MNCs are dominating the globe. As we can see that Coca-Cola and Pepsi, these two cold drink or soft drink companies, they have dominated the globe, and they are not making any other company to come up into the market. The other thing is globalization brought junk food and unhealthy habits. As we can see that earlier during early 90s, there were no fast food chain, there were no restaurant, or there were no huge named restaurant in our country. So at that time people were healthy and people were just not into unhealthy habits. So today everyone would like to go for the burgers, everyone would like to go for the patties, which is actually unhealthy habit. Now, the large number of takeover domestic firm get bankrupt. We have just seen during the 2008 global recession that we have seen that there are so many banks which goes bankrupt just because one of the bank failed in USA. So globalization may affect the other nation also. The foreign companies bring unscrupulous policies. They are the foreign companies, whoever come to the other country, then they actually suppress the government, so that they have to work according to their policies. Ruining of traditional culture, as we are seeing that our Indian traditional culture, which is actually not remained traditional right now. The technology situation brought by MNC may not suit the host country, but that suit the MNCs. MNC dump their obstacle technology to developing world, and millions of people lose their jobs also. What are the determinants of global trade? They are market access, market opportunity, industry standard, product sustainability, growth of technology, globalization of customer requirement, competition policies, leading alliances, logistics and supply chain management. So, what are the drivers of international marketing? The main drivers are market drivers, competitive drivers, cost drivers, technological drivers and government drivers. So, key success point in global market is marketing ability that access correctly the local need in a global arena, proprietary technology and product targeted specifically for local market, high value added services offered through effective local service providers. What are the objectives of global market? To exploit market potential, to aim at marketing operation, to learn from leading market through technology, to increase competitive pressure in the stronghold market, to explore the scope of diversification of a product and gain the comprehensive knowledge on doing overseas business successfully. So, this is what the global marketing all about.